Hi everyone, my name is Sol, and I, like a lot of little gamer boys and girls out there, back in 2012, wept when I experienced the Mass Effect 3 endings. But nay, these were not the tears of joy I had been expecting. These were in fact salty, crusty, sad boy tears. These were tears of despair, tears of sadness, and just like a little bit of confusion. So naturally came the 5 stages of grief. Stage 1, shock, denial. Nobody wanted this to be true. This couldn't be true. This couldn't be the ending to my franchise I had spent hundreds of hours playing. This couldn't be true. BioWare had to fix it. And then came stage 2. The pain, the utter pain, the sadness, the despair. Oh God, BioWare. Tali, Liara. Oh God, what happened to my blue babies? It's just the same ending. It's just 3 different colors of the same ending. And then came stage 4. Depression. Everlasting, ever expanding depression. And then after many years, Mass Effect fans had to realize the final stage, which was acceptance. Except for me.
And now I'm burning like a falling star to catch your love. It goes 1,000,000 miles an hour and I can't keep up, replaying all the things you told me. I've been lost and lonely. You're the glow in my crucible, and the flames will stoke till they burn my paper heart.
Hi, my name is Sol. I think I already said that. I love Mass Effect. When it comes to banging aliens and punching female reporters, I'm your guy. And as my channel's most popular videos would suggest, I never really felt like Mass Effect got its big, juicy, delicious climax that lived up to the rest of the fantastic journey. And I'm not here to say that you can't like the Mass Effect 3 endings. I'm not saying that if you enjoy the endings, you're wrong. I'm just saying if you do, you have terrible taste. But that's okay, because today we are talking about what could have been. We are talking about the fantasy reality where we all played Mass Effect 3 and we all think back on the franchise and think, they did it right. They did it right. Man, those guys over at BioWare and EA, they got a bright future. So I sat myself down, I used my Miranda's ass-sized noggin, and I put pen to paper. I thought of 10 different ways that the Mass Effect 3 endings could be improved. Now, just a disclaimer, this isn't gonna be your fan fiction rewrite Wild Wild West. I'm not gonna go in and change everything. I always thought that like the Mass Effect 3 ending should have just been like the Omega 4 Relay Suicide Mission 2.0. And that's not what this is going to be. This is going to be the original ending with the Star Child, with the choices, and just a couple of things that BioWare could have done to make the endings a lot better, but without completely breaking the BioWare piggy bank. I mean, some of this might not be that practical. It's a YouTube video, calm down. But anyway, like I said before, let's assume everything that I'm talking about is also going to include the Anderson Elusive Man confrontation, the Star Child, the final choice, and the extended cut scenes. I am going to tweak a lot of that. I'm also going to get rid of that whole scene of the Normandy flying away from the explosion. I'm going to get rid of the old man with the grandson child scene. Because, you know, they're kind of completely useless, and we're gonna need that time for more cool scenes.
Number 10.
Just for clarification's sake, Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game. The final boss of Mass Effect 2 is worthless. I think it's cool that the collectors are building this giant Reaper human thing, but as a boss, like functionality, gameplay-wise, it sucks donkey dick. Really, you can just use some heavy ammo, just shoot him with a couple mini nukes, he's going down, he's not much of a threat. But the Mass Effect 2 ending still fucking slaps. It slaps. And it goes to show that just by having, you know, just that final session of gameplay, just something in that spot. I'm not saying they need to make the best boss battle ever. They just need to have something. And what I propose is Harbinger. I remember before Mass Effect 3 came out, I thought this game was gonna have like 10 boss fights against Reapers. That did not happen. And we don't even get to fight Harbinger, who I just assumed was gonna be the final boss. Because let's look at how this scene plays out without the final boss. Your team charges for the beam of light. They get hit. They fly off injured. Shepard continues the charge towards the beam of light. Harbinger hits him. Harbinger assumes you're dead. He flies away. Job well done. And keep in mind, like, this is all a test. This is just the Star Child and the Reapers testing humans to see if they're worthy enough to use the catalyst. Either Harbinger like shot you and was like, oh, he survived. I guess he's good enough. He's ready to go up into the magical beam of light. Okay. Or he's just that dumb that he was like, yep, got him. So the only real reason Shepard was worthy enough to use a catalyst is on a fluke. Go humanity. And keep in mind, following this scene, there is no more gameplay. It is just an armada of cutscenes. And that's fine because it's the end of the franchise. They gotta close things out. I'm cool watching a full feature-length movie at that point. But the final rush of gameplay, the final moment that you are Shepard and you have control, shouldn't that be something worthwhile? And there is an instance where your crew gets injured and they fly away. Wouldn't it feel much more natural if you like started the boss battle and then your crew just gets blasted and they gotta fly away and that's like a mid-boss credit scene? Doesn't that feel more natural than just Harbinger just ignoring the Normandy and all these people just like, oh, I guess I'll shoot something else for a minute? The reason this last rush doesn't feel special is because there is no final nail in the coffin. The player throughout the entire ending is expecting more. They're expecting something to pop out and fight, but in reality, the last thing they fought was Marauder shields. Number 9. A final choice between Renegade or Paragon. Man, I remember replaying Mass Effect 1 and 2 so many times. I replayed it so much to get that perfect playthrough, to get that just perfect amount of Renegade or Paragon points. And I just kept thinking, it has to lead up to something. I am accruing all of these points because it's going to matter in some ultimate final choice.
Nah, fam.
Playing Mass Effect 3 as a Paragon, I was kind of confused when the game just showed me this giant blue beacon and it was kind of like, you know, kind of nudging me, being like, oh, you can control the Reapers and the Elusive Man might have been right in some kind of way. The blue ending really has no relation of the Paragon option or the 1,000 Paragon choices that led up to it. And if you grind every single Paragon option, you're not unlocked with anything to do with this other than the synthesis ending, which is also unlocked if you have enough Renegade points. By grinding all of these Paragon points, you're not allowed to get some giant Paragon thing. You're just allowed the same thing that Renegade would have got. Thus, it feels like all of these points are worthless. I'll present a new option, and it's going to have a lot to do with the Elusive Man and Captain Anderson conflict. So I'll present a new option, and it's going to happen right after the fight with Harbinger, and it's not going to be up in the Citadel, it's going to be right down on Earth. The Elusive Man is going to pop out. The moment you feel relaxed and safe, the Elusive Man pops up with a whole militia of Cerberus operatives. He's got Captain Anderson hostage and he's just standing on top of the dead Harbinger, but his skin is like glowing. He's obviously being manipulated by the Reapers to a much scarier degree than what we had realized. The Elusive Man is going to give a whole speech about how he's talked to the Reapers extensively. He knows that up this beam of light there's a way to control the Reapers, and he's not going to let Anderson, Shepard, or anybody else stop him from doing that. Shepard and the Elusive Man have a back and forth, and then the Elusive Man starts glowing even more. He starts looking a little crazy, and then boom, he puts a bullet in Captain Anderson's head, and then he just starts morphing, and then suddenly he starts morphing with Harbinger, and then the next thing you know, he transforms, and then suddenly we're looking at a giant Elusive Man Reaper. And you may or may not have seen the original concept art where the Elusive Man was supposed to be the final boss of this game, and he was supposed to turn into a Reaper. I think him, using Harbinger's corpse kind of just makes it a little bit more natural. And on top of that, in the original Mass Effect, we had bosses back to back, and I basically want this to replicate that. If Mass Effect 1 can do it, why can't Mass Effect 3? Again, they don't even need to be good bosses, just give me a little more substance of story and impact. But everything I just described is how it would have turned out if you did not get enough Paragon or Renegade choices. After that fight, Captain Anderson is dead. The Elusive Man, after you defeat him, is dead. At this point, all the Cerberus operatives are dead. Shepard finds Captain Anderson, and they have the exact same conversation that they had in the original ending. I do like that conversation. They can still have that conversation, and then he goes up the beam of light. But if you have enough Paragon or Renegade points, you will get a call from Joker in your little earpiece thing, and he's gonna tell you, hey, I have a clear line of sight on the Elusive Man on top of this Reaper thing as he's glowing and freaking out. I can take him down, but the blast is probably going to be so big that Captain Anderson is going to die. Do I take the shot, Commander? And that choice right there is the ultimate Paragon or Renegade choice. I'll tell you the Paragon option first, which is declining Joker's offer and trying to talk it through with the Elusive Man. In this ending, we're going to try to convince the Elusive Man that he's indoctrinated, he's crazy. Can he really control the Reapers? Do you know that? Is that a risk that risking all of humanity is worth? And during this conversation, Shepard's just getting closer and closer to him, and the Elusive Man is just not backing down. He's got the gun on Anderson. He's like, don't get closer, I'm gonna fucking shoot him. Shepard reaches his hand out, and he says, give me the gun. And the Elusive Man, in retaliation, shoots Anderson dead. Now this is a little bonus choice, a nice little bonus Paragon option that I think that the player should be allowed to make at this point. He can either fight the Elusive Man right then and there, which will just initiate, the original ending, or he can continue to try to show the Elusive Man mercy. He can continue to try to calm the Elusive Man down, and he can, and he does. At the end of the conversation, the Elusive Man realizes he is crazy. The Elusive Man tells his Cerberus operatives to back down. Shepard takes his gun, and with his, with his sucker punch capabilities that is able to take down any female reporters, he knocks the Elusive Man out. Like how in the original Mass Effect, you can opt out of the Saren boss fight, the original one. You can opt out of the Elusive Man Reaper fight. In this ending, Anderson may die, but the Elusive Man lives. You showed so much mercy that you were able to bring the baddest baddie to his knees. You might have made a decision that got some people hurt, but that's just a part of showing mercy. That is an actual value of Paragon, and that's how I believe that should end. After that, Shepard will say something to the Elusive Man like, oh, well, you'll hopefully turn back to normal once these Reapers are gone, and then he sits down with Anderson, who is still bleeding out, and they have their original conversation. No matter almost any ending to this, you're still gonna get that conversation with Anderson. Now, in the Renegade option, and keep in mind the Renegades are ruthless bastards, he says, fire away. We're taking the enemy down. We're gonna save humanity at any cost. So, Joker takes a shot, big Reaper corpse explosion, the Elusive Man is flying that way, Anderson's flying that way, seemingly everybody's dead. Cerberus goons are dead, Anderson's dead, the Elusive Man's dead, the Reaper corpse is all destroyed. Or so we think. Shepard finds the Elusive Man and Captain Anderson kind of side by side, their bodies laid out, they're obviously going to die, the Elusive Man's face is like half burnt off. Captain Anderson's legs got blown up. They're gonna die. And like how the Paragon ending had a little bonus option, the Renegade option is also going to have a little bonus choice for you. You're going to have a final conversation with the elusive man. He says, I'm not feeling indoctrinated anymore. I think because Harbinger's body is destroyed, I think he's the one that did it. I feel better. I'm gonna die though. But I think there's a way we can restore Captain Anderson. You can take this little Reaper tech piece out of my brain and give it to him. So the option here is to give Captain Anderson this little chip, knowing that he will survive but potentially be indoctrinated or whatever else. Or we don't give him the chip and we'll see what happens. Regardless, Captain Anderson is going to live here. Basically, this option is to give Captain Anderson basically his send-off. If you choose not to give him the chip, he's just going to spend the rest of his days in the council, kind of begrudgingly, but you know, he's always thinking, at least I'm alive. If you don't give him the chip, he's going to remain crippled, but he's going to serve out his days with the council, begrudgingly, kind of wishing, oh man, I wish I could get back out there, but my legs. Or if you do give him the chip, he is going to become a kind of cyborg type humanoid creature. And obviously you guys know how this game ends, and if you choose the control or synthesis endings, that kind of just make this choice a little bit cooler, you know? Whereas if you choose the destroy ending, he's just gonna lose his Reaper tech and then he's just gonna go back to the crippled ending. Basically, I want this bonus option for the player to kind of give Captain Anderson the ending that they want for him. Do they want him to kind of settle down and retire and kind of work for the council? Or is he gonna be a badass cyborg that's still gonna be the wild, wild west spaceman that he's always been? No matter what ending you get out of those three, it's still better. If you don't do anything, you still get a cool boss fight instead of what we got. If you choose the Paragon option, the elusive man lives, and you get a much more satisfying conclusion with them and a much more satisfying reward for all of your efforts. If you have the Renegade option, you still stuck to being a ruthless bastard, but you got your buddy out of it, and you even got to choose how he spends the rest of his days. Just by making that one little segment, Paragon and Renegade suddenly matters way more. I do want Captain Anderson to live, or I do want to finally get the elusive man to get his comeuppance. Regardless of whichever thing you were going for, you got it. There just needs to be some kind of reward at the end of the tunnel. Without that, the Paragon and Renegade options feel meaningless. Number 8. Resolution with our squad mates. Okay, so there are 19 main Mass Effect squad mates, and let's say our bonus character is Joker. 20 characters. Keep in mind that we cut about 15 minutes of cutscenes, what with the Normandy flying away, the old man and his grandson, and just a spoiler alert for later, the slideshow is going to get tweaked so you can kind of cut out the slideshow. That's about, 10 to 15 minutes of time. If we just dedicate 2 minutes to each of these characters, the ending is only twice as long. And it's not even going to be that long because a lot of these characters are going to die no matter what. So let's say 15 characters, 2 minutes each, that's 30 minutes. And I can guarantee the people who play these games love these characters enough to watch 30 minutes of scenes giving them conclusions. All I need to see is Jacob being a good dad, or Miranda hanging out with her sister. Joker and Edie finally get their big scene together. Tali is able to finally go home and live in peace. Mordin goes back to being a doctor. There's so many things you could do with these scenes. All these characters just say one final thing to Shepard before they move on with their lives, and that is all I ask, is a conclusion for these characters. And for some of them, you can give alternate cutscenes. Garrus, for example, let's say you're a Paragon. You are able to convince Garrus to go back to being a straight man. He becomes a Spectre. He starts living life by the law. But if you're a Renegade, he goes back to being Archangel. He's getting shit done off the books. Who needs them? I feel like I've shaped the character a little bit more that way. I, like many Mass Effect fans, love these characters, and I just wanted to know what happened to them. What is their conclusion? Where did they go? And sorry, I want a little bit more than a slideshow. I hope that's not too much to ask. Number 7, the final rush. All right, this one should be fairly simple, and this actually doesn't have anything to do with the Star Child or the final choice or anything like that. This has a lot more to do with the Take Back Earth mission and really all the potential that this mission could have had. Because for me, this mission didn't really feel special. It kind of just felt like every other session of gameplay, only it's darker and there's more explosions and yeah. Really, just let me play horde mode with different squads. If I chose to save the Krogans, give me a battle team of Krogans to play around with for like literally just a couple minutes. If I chose to save the Quarians, let me and Tally go in there. We're fighting all these guys, and then let's say like Tally's mask breaks for a second and there's like a big deal, everyone's rushing to save her, but we get to see Tally's face for just that like half second. It doesn't reveal too much, but at the same time we kind of get more of an idea for it. That's just me trying to throw Tally's face into this. But, you know, there's other things we can do. Let's say if we chose Morinth over Samara, we actually like find her on the battlefield as we're teaming up with a bunch of Asari. She's undercover still, but you know, they have at least that final conversation. As it stands, Morinth is a fucking NPC you fight during this battle. A fucking NPC. It's just an NPC that has her name. I chose Morinth, by the way. So again, they don't need to completely rewrite this mission. Just add little segments, little things that make my choices prior matter a little bit more. I'm not asking for the suicide mission 2.0. I'm just asking for a little bit more love for the choices I made and make them actually feel like they're reflective on the battlefield instead of just this dark, hollow mission that we got. Number 6. Ending diversity. So I remember back in the day after these endings trying to decipher all the differences, and then at some point it just kind of clicked. I think it was when I was watching a side-by-side comparison. It was the exact same ending with 3 different colors. 3 colors. 3 goddamn colors. Goddamn. No. No. It's the same. It's red, it's blue, it's green, it's all the same. So what I'm proposing is get rid of the colors. Just get rid of the fucking colors. We don't need that comparison because obviously you just think Paragon and Renegade and it has nothing to do with Paragon and Renegade. So just get rid of the colors. Whatever the explosion is, make it a fucking rainbow for all I care. Just get rid of them. And the second you hit select on whatever choice you made, I don't want a single scene to look like the other scenes. If I choose the control ending, why am I watching the Normandy run away from an explosion? I should see the Reapers like going to dark space or showing up at the Citadel to like await orders. Like, I shouldn't see anything similar to the destroy ending. And if I did choose the destroy ending, like if Edie dies, if the Geth die, like if that's actually what happens with that ending, show me that. I shouldn't see any main characters die off screen. Let me see my troops on top of dead Reapers with fireworks. That's what the destroy ending should be about. Literally, we're talking about a couple minutes of cutscenes. Just make them different. That's it. We don't need 100 variations, just 3. That's all I'm asking for. Number 5, fixing the writing. Oh, look who it is. Everybody, hey, it's plot holes, everybody. There's plot holes here. Hey, oh my God, Retcons is here too, man. Oh shit, we got everybody. Retcons within retcons. Oh my God. All my favorite writing tropes all in one. Oh my God, I'm so glad you guys decided to show up towards the ending of the game. Bravo. So, I don't like the Star Child. I never liked the Star Child. I don't think many people do like the Star Child because the second the second this kid showed up into existence, nothing made sense anymore. The second I laid eyes on this little boy, my world got rocked. Hey yo, I'm a synthetic created by organics who's going to kill organics every 10,000 years so they don't kill synthetics who will wipe out organics. obviously. And then you add the Leviathans, and then you add the mass relays being destroyed with all other technology. Actually, JK, all tech is fine, and it was just part of the mass relays. It's not the whole mass relays. We didn't realize the giant plot inconvenience that creates. It's just part of the relays. But don't worry, in the quote-unquote good ending, these robot-hating assholes will just become like part of a bigger robot, whether they like it or not, because the Reapers aren't indoctrinating everyone. It's just synthesis. It's just synthesis, bro. I'm not rewriting the ending here. I'm just saying maybe we should just tighten it. Just tighten it. Like that whole part where they wrote the mass relays being destroyed, and then they were just like, oh, JK. Let's just not do that. The mass relays are fine. I want more examples of like what synthesis and control means. If I choose control, like what am I? What am I doing? What is gonna happen to the people? If I choose synthesis, break down what that even means. Who is being affected how? How much cybernetic am I? How much organic am I? And if I choose destroy, in fine fucking print, tell me who is going to die. What is being destroyed? And yeah, let's just get rid of the Star Child. How about we just talk to a Reaper? The things we've been fighting this whole time. Just let me, like, it can, if you want a nice human-shaped Reaper, I don't care. A human-shaped Reaper, okay. Or the entire Citadel. The entire Citadel was a Reaper. Holy shit. BioWare and their plot twist, right? Yeehaw. You can have that one, BioWare. The Citadel was just a Reaper in sleep mode the whole time. Who would have thought? Oh shit, a Keeper. The Keepers can talk. It's talking to me. It's anything. Number 4. Respecting the minor choices. Okay, I did say that we were going to get rid of the slideshow. Now we're going to talk about what we're going to do to replace it. If you really want to keep those voiceovers where Shepard or Edie or Hackett were talking, you can keep those. Instead of the slideshow though, why don't we just see cutscenes? You can put them on mute for all I care. If I chose to save the council, for instance, let me see the council and maybe they're actually putting some boots on the ground or doing something for once. If I kept them alive for this long, I want to see that they are finally making good choices. If I chose to save the Rachni Queen, let me see her. Let me see whatever she's doing now. If I chose to save the Collector base, maybe if the Elusive Man also lived, he just kind of hides out there. Or if I don't save the Collector base, he goes to prison. Like, let me see stuff like that. And that's literally it. I'm asking for minimal cutscenes here. Number 3. Fixing the Refusal ending. So back in the day, whenever we got the extended cut DLC, we got a new 4th ending. But don't bust a nut just yet, because it turns out the 4th secret ending is garbage. Basically, a lot of people were complaining like, how come I'm this ruthless badass renegade that took no shit from nobody and called things how I wanted to call them? Why do I gotta listen to the Star Child fuckboy? Why can't I tell him to fuck off? So BioWare was like, yeah, you can tell him to fuck off, but you're just gonna die. And that's what happens. Everybody dies. In the 4th ending, all we get is literally a single cutscene where we watch this robotic message from Liara just being like, oh, I hope the next wave of humanity survives. I hope somebody can finally beat the Reapers. So yeah, this just felt kind of mean-spirited. Literally, a bunch of people brought up a good point to BioWare, and BioWare said, shut up, you just die. Okay, gee, thanks. And the reason I'm trying to defend the Refusal ending so much is because there is a valid argument that none of the endings actually reflect these games. Never while playing Mass Effect 2 for the 100th time was I like, oh yeah, I can't wait to become a Reaper god. That feels like the natural progression. And never was I like, oh, I can't wait to wipe out all of Tech or all of Geth or whatever I'm destroying. Or, oh wait, I could get the quote-unquote good ending where all of synthetic life merges with organics against their will, and hopefully that works out for the best. Oh, and everyone just kind of gets this green glow to them. I can't wait for this to be canon. And again, I'm not breaking the BioWare piggy bank. I'm not gonna write a whole new ending that's gonna like bust everybody's nuts and they're gonna sing to high heaven about the Refusal ending. But I think we can make 3 scenes. 3 scenes that will depend on your war points. Like, let's say you have terrible war points. Guess what? You get the bad ending. And it's not gonna be Liara's capsule. Instead, it's gonna be like one of your squad mates. It can be Joker, it can be your love interest, doesn't matter. They are the last man standing on a destroyed Earth. They kind of give a final prayer. They give a final speech as a Reaper turns beside them. They look this Reaper dead in the eye and they go down fighting. Humanity gets wiped out, but at least you get to see it. Just that little kiss of death, just that little satisfaction if you did happen to get the bad ending. And let's say you have a decent amount of war points. You didn't complete the whole game, but you know, you did a good job. You got a decent amount. In this ending, you're gonna have a few selection of squad mates. It can just be the Mass Effect 3 squad mates for all I care. They're on destroyed Earth. It's a little bit better than before, but it's still wrecked. They're sitting in a little circle campfire thing, and they're like, you know what? We're probably gonna die. We have no resources. I don't even know if there's more Reapers in space, but you know what? We took back Earth. We won. Just like, and they look up at the stars, just like Shepard wanted. R.I.P. Again, if you hate the original 3 endings and you just didn't happen to get all your war points, at least this is something. At least your squad survived and they might live to see the day, and that's something. You get a little bit of satisfaction there. But if you happen to get all the war points, you fucking max that bitch out. You get the good version. In this ending, Earth, you know, it's not looking too good. It's pretty battle damaged, but it's still recognizable. Our squad mates are in that Final Fantasy X campfire circle I was talking about earlier, but this time we got the whole squad here. Everybody lived. After that, Joker or Garrus or your love interest, somebody gives a speech and they're like, you know what? We may have lost a lot of friends. We may have a bunch of new scars, but us, the crew, we're still here, and now we can start to slowly, very slowly rebuild. Thank you, Shepard. And the camera just tilts to an N7 suit, turns around, Shepard's alive. Tell me that simple one fucking cutscene wouldn't have satisfied a massive audience. No, I do not need a happy ending. No, I do not need the ending where everything works out just great and it's all dandy. But if I work my fucking ass off, if I do everything, every fucking thing this franchise has to offer, then maybe, just maybe, I can get a simple cutscene that makes it worth it. And I'm not saying that's going to be the good ending. That ending has a lot less payoff. There's a lot less narrative. There's a lot less things going on. But that's the Refusal ending. It's the simple one. It's the one where you get shit done, you drink a beer, put your feet up. That's the end. No, I do not think the Refusal ending needs to be a happy ending. But compared to what we got, I mean, I'll take it. Number 2. Romance conclusion. So you can guess what this one is about. Imagine Shepard falling in love, saving the galaxy, and as he's turning into space dust, he's just thinking, oh man, I sure hope the love of my life isn't about to die. So yeah, this is a pretty simple one. I'm asking for a goodbye scene. And I know there's bits and pieces of that in the final mission, but I want an honest to God, true goodbye scene. And I think when we're doing those like 2-minute conclusion scenes for each of the characters, we'll just have alternate scenes for our love interest. For instance, if you didn't romance Liara, it's just her being a shadow broker, it's her being a Prothean scientist, doesn't matter. If you did happen to romance her though, it's her just saying goodbye. And, you know, maybe slip in some blue babies in there. Really, there's so many different things you could do here. Imagine Miranda coming back to the Normandy just to kind of hang out in Shepard's quarters. Imagine Tally building a grave on Earth, and then she looks up and is like, oh, the stars on your planet are as beautiful as you said. Imagine Jack spreading your ashes, but just having that one single tear, that one last little vulnerability beam, then she wipes it clean, and she's like, you know what? We're gonna get through this. Anything for me to feel like, oh, those two characters did love each other. They're not just two branching paths that happen to meet in this one specific playthrough. I want to feel like the choices I made actually reflect this character and who they are shaped to be in the end, because that's what love is. And until I see that, I don't feel like that's what actually happened. Number 1, Shepard's fate. So this one should be pretty simple. And I'm going to use a single word to describe what I mean here. Commitment. If you do everything right, in this ending, Shepard gets that one final, he gets that final breath. But it's literally not even his face. We see just an N7 chess piece rise for half a second. With all due respect, BioWare, none of this half breath in the rubble bullshit. If Shepard's alive, I want to see Shepard alive, goddammit. None of this half-baked Easter egg conclusion bullshit. If I'm alive, I'm alive, and if I'm dead, I'm dead. I would rather every single ending be dead than what we have currently. Because let's say I model my entire 90-hour playthrough just to get to this ending, and even if I did want to destroy ending, let's say I choose it, and then all I get is a fucking half a breath in the rubble, that's my big reward. Fuck you. Oh boy, what a video, am I right, everybody? That was a long one. If you made it this far, you have my eternal gratitude. And I would suggest 2 things before you go. 1, follow me on Twitch. By now, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is out, and I'm probably streaming it right now because I don't plan to do anything else with the rest of my life ever. Other than that, you can subscribe to this channel right here. I have other Mass Effect videos. I have other videos about video games and anime and movies and other dumb shit that you're probably into that I'm into. Go and watch those. And if you care to follow me on any social media, like the video, do YouTube things. Leave a comment. I like comments. I like reading your comments. Leave me a nice comment. If you gave me a nice winky face in the comment, then you're a cool guy or gal. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm gonna go to sleep for the rest of my life. Thank you for watching, and until next time, with that,